Hey guys, I'm Ethan Moore from Stockman Supply. I got an email from Jared who has a 14-inch Delta bandsaw, much like this one right here, and he wants to know whether it's worth his money to upgrade the guides that came original on that Delta bandsaw. So basically, Jared, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through all my bandsaws that I have here. These are all bandsaws that I own. On each of these bandsaws, except for this really old one, I have individually over 200 hours. So I have lots of experience with these saws. And we're going to just kind of go through the different guide systems and what I think is the worst and what I think is the best, in my opinion. So, before we get into that, I'm going to tell you something very bad that a lot of guys are going to disagree with, but if you think about it, it only makes sense. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but when you're setting up the guides on your bandsaw, you're supposed to set the guides up just a little bit away, just so that when you're spinning that blade, they don't quite touch. Maybe with a dollar bill, something like that. Okay, if I'm cutting perfectly straight with that bandsaw blade, that blade right there, it's not moving side to side, right? It's cutting straight. So here's what we know. If that little bearing on the side here, if that bearing spins, I know that I am not cutting straight because that bearing's spinning. These guides have absolutely nothing to do with determining the accuracy of that cut. They have nothing to do with that. They're only there for cutting curves and circles. If I'm cutting straight, you should never touch those guides. That being said, there are some good and bad things about bandsaw guides, even when it comes to cutting straight. So we're going to start over here with this old bandsaw I have yet to restore. I got this at a farm auction. Doesn't have a name on it, but it's got some guides here that I want to talk about. We got steel guides on it right here with a thrust bearing. Pretty standard for a lot of old saws. Even the Delta was very similar to this. These steel guides, you have to be extremely careful with the steel guides. If you touch that blade, the teeth of that blade, to any part of that steel, basically your blade will be destroyed and it won't cut at all anymore. So you got to be careful when they set up, and they're not really the lowest friction option, so they do tend to make some heat, which will lead to premature blade wear and all those sort of things. The guide on the back, the thrust bearing, right there, it's another bit of an issue. When you get to the weld in a bandsaw blade, oftentimes it's not perfectly flat in the bottom. It's got a little lump where that weld is. When that blade runs against that thrust bearing right there, it'll go tick, 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 and it'll go like that. And you'll see that little vibration in your cut, and you'll hear it too. So if we go over to the Delta, this is your saw, Jared. We have done one little simple thing that I think is really nice. Rather than the steel blocks that came with it, I've added these cool blocks. These are a phenolic block. It's impregnated with graphite. It is self-lubricating. They run a lot cooler than the steel guides that came with it. So they are definitely better. They'll last longer, and you don't have to worry about wrecking that blade if your teeth happen to touch it if you don't have it set up properly. They still have the problem with that thrust bearing. You're still going to get that vibration from the weld in the back. So if we go over to the Rikon 10-325, pretty decent guide setup we have on here. We got roller guides on the side, and we have an edge-facing thrust bearing. So you can see it's a little bit different setup. Now that is very nice. I really like that feature because when I get to the weld in my bandsaw blade, rather than going tick, 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 and seeing that in your cut, it will roll right over that weld, and it will really reduce a lot of that vibration. So a big fan of that. Now if we go to the side guides, these roller guides here, I'm actually not a big fan. The problem with these guys here, when I'm cutting wet wood, that's the issue. When I'm cutting kiln dried, resawing a piece of veneer off there, don't make any difference. But if it's a piece of wet wood, that wet pitch in that wood has a tendency to stick to the side of that blade. And if you look at those guides, they're almost like a funnel, the shape of them. That sawdust will fall down, and those guides will push that sawdust right up against that side of that blade, and it's going to build that blade up until that blade will actually become wider than the teeth because of the pitch, and it'll just bind up inside your cut. So if we're going over here, we got a Laguna 14 SUV. We have the ceramic guides. These are a totally different idea here. If we look at this, the thing about ceramics is same issue with the original steel guides, though they do are a little bit less friction. If I don't have that blade set up properly, if I touch that ceramic at all, it will destroy your blade, so you got to be very careful with that. The other thing is here, they do tend to make sparks. So you got to be really careful with your dust collection as you're using them here. But the one thing I don't like about this way this guys are set up, if you look at the back here, we got that block that blade will run up against. Same issue we've been talking about. When you get to the weld in the blade, if that's not nice and flat, if you haven't taken a file to it, it's going to go tick, 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 and you'll see that in your cut, and you'll hear it too. So my favorite guide system is right here. This is the Rikon 10-326. So same thing as before, we have the edge-facing thrust bearing. My favorite feature right there, very important. But also, if you look at the side guides here, they look like bearings, but they're not. These are actually cool blocks here that I've replaced. So I've replaced the bearings, and what I can do with these cool blocks is I can run right up against that blade, and as sawdust builds up on that blade, or if I'm cutting something wet, that cool block will act as a scraper, and it'll keep the side of that blade very, very clean. So in my opinion, that is my favorite setup, the best setup that you can get for a bandsaw. But again, the funny thing is, guides on a bandsaw have absolutely nothing to do with cutting straight. They're only there when you want curves and cut curves and circles. When you're cutting straight, you should never touch that guide. If you do touch that guide, you're not cutting straight. Simple as that. So yeah, so Jared, basically you can take that information and you can determine what you want to do. Whether you want to go as far as getting a different style thrust bearing on your bandsaw, that's up to you. But for sure, I would upgrade to the cool blocks, in my opinion. So if anyone else has any other questions, let me know. You can email me at info@stockhamsupply.com or comment on this video. And thank you guys for watching, and subscribe.